This is a tutorial for how to make your husband the perfect lunch for when he doesn't come home all night. I start with this delicious sandwich and then chips and these delicious cute little peanut butter crackers and of course an ice cold water to keep it nice and fresh.
Hi, my name is Pam, and this is what I pack for my husband who works 12 hours in a mine for lunch. I always start by wiping his lunch bag down. It's always really dusty and dirty from being down there, so I always use Lysol or Dawn to get it clean. I always start his Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Sometimes he has that or a breakfast sandwich. I don't have any, though, so he's getting Pop-Tarts. Ice packs that stay cold for 12 hours, chicken parmesan, fettuccine alfredo for his second lunch, a prosciutto sandwich for his first lunch, homemade hummus, he loves this. I cannot make enough. An apple to be healthy, I guess. A homemade brownie. Chips for the hummus. He will not eat pitas or any of that crap. A Monster. He doesn't like coffee, so he chooses Monsters. Soda Stream, Coke, a few Gatorades. Then he gets the Smart Food. He loves that to snack on while they're on break. Utensils that are only for his lunch, and that's it.
Making my husband's lunch for his 14-hour shift. Making my husband his lunch for work.
For my husband's lunch today, I'm going to first pack in some watermelon, and I feel like it's always 50-50 on whether or not I pick out a good one, but this one was super sweet. Maybe letting it sit for 3 to 4 days helped with the sugars, I don't know. I packed in a few heart-shaped ones, and of course Bouncer got the scraps. Next, I'm packing in some wasabi flavored peas, which is one of my husband's favorites. And I also had a few boba mochis lying around, so I packed in a few of those. Lastly, I packed in some Ritz crackers with crunchy peanut butter. And for the main portion, I'm going to be making stuffed tomatoes. And these were fresh from my garden, so you know they're going to be good. I hollowed them out and stuffed each one with some tuna fish salad. And I think the last time I made these was with my dad. Since him and I were the tuna fish lovers of the family, we always made it together. And this was a huge core memory of mine because it was always just the two of us making these, and they always turned out super delicious. And now that the lunch is ready to go, I'm packing it all up and of course including a note for my husband.
Let's pack a lunch for my husband. Today I made him some waffles using my basic waffle batter. I put it in my mini dash waffle machine. I have almost every shape of these, but this is one of my favorites, especially this time of year. I topped that with some leftover chicken tenders to make a chicken and waffles dish. I spread on some spicy buffalo sauce, some Mike's Hot Honey, green onions. I gave him some of our leftover steamed broccolini with butter, salt, and pepper, some maple syrup, and orange. And that was his lunch. Hope you enjoy. Let's pack a lunch for my husband. Today I'm using our new Lunch Ease self-heating lunchbox. This thing is so cool. I let it charge while I made my Mississippi pot roast. I seasoned a chuck roast and pan-fried it till golden brown on all sides. Then put it in my Instant Pot. I added 1 onion and 2 cups of beef broth to the skillet to scrape up any brown bits. And I added that to the Instant Pot with 1 packet of au jus, half a packet of ranch seasoning, half a packet of Italian seasoning, which makes it so much better, half a stick of butter, a couple of pepperoncinis with some juice. Then I riced the mashed potatoes to make them silky smooth. Added it to my container with some of that pot roast, some buttered peas and extra gravy. Then I made a salad with some croutons, sunflower seeds, some seasoning, a couple strawberries, and an Italian zesty dressing. This thing is so cool. You can set a time for it to heat up, or you can press a button that heats now. It's a little pricey, $199, but you get your money back from not doing fast food and using leftovers. This container is so cool. You can put an ice pack on the top to keep cold things. I love it.
Pack up my partner's lunch with me. Here's got a cheese and ham and salad sandwich. Here's got a cheese and ham sandwich. I'll put that in a minute. Winter bread, gingerbread cake bar, club bar, time out wafer. This little jelly T-Rex thing, I don't know. Some straws, a few more straws. Some pork scratchings, you know, make his breath stink because he's making them go. I'm joking. And the cheese and ham sandwich. We have got a Rustler's barbecue rib today, which I don't think is going to fit in. No, it's not. We've got some cravers and cheese and onion crisps. That is on. All goes in his bag with his drinks and energy drinks. And it goes. Pack up my partner's lunch with me. He has got a ham and cheese sandwich to make into toasty at work. He has got one slice of toast bread with chicken in. He's got a Cornish pasty, roast chicken crisps, cheese and onion crisps. He has also got Rustler's cheeseburger, of course. Fanta fruit twist and a Dr. Pepper. And I did put in the video the other 2 cans, but instead he's going to take this bottle. And that is what he's taking to work today. Hope everyone has a lovely day, and I've got a food shop haul coming shortly, so yeah, look out for that.
For my husband's lunch today, I'm going to chop up some lettuce to make a small side salad. And since the main portion is going to be Italian themed, I really wanted to do Caesar salad, but when we had this last night, my husband and I ate all the croutons and the romaine lettuce. So this one's just a simple one with tomatoes, red onions, and some carrots. Next, for the fruit, I packed in these gigantic grapes, which are super sweet, but they're not seedless. And lastly, I packed in some roasted sesame salad dressing. And for the main portion, I'm going to be making a classic spaghetti and meatballs from scratch. And in the last few videos, I did share my journey on how I made my marinara sauce. So the recipe is already up for that. And to go with this amazing spaghetti, I made these giant meatballs, which I will post up the recipe after this as well. Lastly, I topped everything off with some grated Parmesan and some parsley. And now that everything's ready to go, I'm packing it all up and of course including a note for my husband.
Hey, it's Melissa. Today I'm going to show you what I made my husband for his lunch tomorrow. We call this the adult lunch bowl, and I think you'll see why. The best part is that I made it in less than 3 minutes. First, I gave him some turkey lunch meat with a Kobe Jack string cheese, a couple of these beef snack sticks, and 2 slices of pepper jack cheese that I sliced up. Next, I'm going to give him some of these seasoned rice crackers, which are really good and crunchy. Next, I'll give him a couple pickle spears because they're delicious. I'll also give him a little bit of fruit. This week, I have grapes. I'm also going to give him a little silicone cupcake mold with almonds in it and some vanilla cookies for dessert. That's it. Bye!
When it comes to packing lunch for my husband for work, I like to consider these 2 things. Number 1, is it enough food to satisfy him until he's able to get home and have dinner with us in the afternoon? And 2, does it hit on these 3 food groups? A protein, B, a veggie, C, a fruit. If it does hit on these 3 categories and it is enough food, then that means I'm satisfied with whatever it is that I have packed him for lunch. I also want to mention that I do make breakfast first thing in the morning, so he does have that. And like I mentioned before, I do have dinner ready by the time he gets home, or at least it's almost ready when he gets home, which is why I don't pack him a super big lunch, and he also prefers a smaller lunch. So if you like this video and you want to see more like this one, click the link in my bio.
Pack my husband's gigantic lunch at 5 a.m. with me. Before you say anything, no, he doesn't want fruits or vegetables in his lunch. He won't eat them. Making this stuff is so gross to me because I'm vegan, but I love him.
Salmon plus rice breakfast mix, vegan mac and cheese, Dorito, Lil Bites, fruit snack plus rice crispy, nuts.
For my husband's lunch today, I'm going to pack in some fruit. My receipt says red sweet apricots. These are so cute and they've got a tiny butt. Anyways, I'm going to do some fun star cutouts with these. And as I was packing this lunch, I did snack on some. They're sweet with a little hint of tartness. Then I'm packing in a few Girl Scout cookies. These ones are samosas. Then I sliced up some cucumbers and add those in there as well. And the main portion is going to be a stew, so I'm packing in some slices of baguette for dipping. These are going to go perfect with the beef stew. And let me tell you, this is the best stew I have ever made. It reminds me of that scene in The Backup Plan where Jennifer Lopez was stuffing her face with beef stew. It looked so delicious, and I always dreamt that one day I would hopefully be able to recreate that stew. And I think this right here was it. And back to the lunch. Now that everything's ready to go, I'm packing it all up and of course including a note for my husband. For my husband's lunch today, I'm going to start by packing in some cut up pineapple and apples. The parchment paper is just to make sure that the fruit juices don't spread along the bottom of the lunchbox. Next, I have some walnuts, and then I'm going to add a soft-boiled egg. And then I also made those ranch pickles that everyone was talking about, so I added in those as well for him to try out. And for the main portion, I'm going to make some chicken salad. Here I'm going to use up some leftover cooked chicken from the other day, and keeping it simple with some celery and onions. Cut up apples would be really good, or if you're one of those people who just like throwing in raisins and everything, we may not be able to be friends. Just kidding. Anyways, back to the lunch. I went ahead and put the chicken salad on some bagels that I got from our local bakery, and yes, I did eat the extra piece that didn't fit in there. Now that the lunch is ready to go, I'm packing it all up and of course including a note for my husband. For my husband's lunch today, I'm first going to cut up some strawberries. And just a heads up, this lunch is going to be full of lovey-dovey things because you know Valentine's Day is right around the corner and I just can't help myself and I have to make some type of Valentine's Day themed lunch for him. I cut up my strawberries into heart shapes because I can, and then I added in some chocolates. Of course I gave him all the good ones. Then I made a side salad and I still had those pear-shaped tomatoes, so I'm adding those in there too. Bouncer did not appreciate the scraps of carrots, but that's fine, I ended up eating them. And this heart-shaped mold was supposed to make my eggs into heart shapes, but it kind of cracked, so hopefully that's not a sign for anything. And for the main portion, I'm doing some rotisserie chicken, which is just the one from Costco, so nothing too crazy. I added some rice and then some sauteed asparagus. Then I start to pack everything up. The small container has some teriyaki sauce, and then I include some Polynesian Chick-fil-A sauce. Hopefully that's good for the salad. Now that everything's packed up, I'm of course including a note for my husband.
Air fried bacon sandwich for my partner's lunch today. Get it in the deep fat fryer. It's not deep fat fryer, Chelsea, it's the air fryer. Get tomato ketchup on, sprinkle, sprinkle. Check the bacon. Beautiful. Chuck it in and we're done.
For my husband's lunch today, I'm going to start off by cutting up an apple into some slices. I also squeezed on some lemon juice to keep them from browning. Added a handful of mixed nuts. I'm also going to add in some lumpia, which I made the other night, along with a side of sweet chili sauce. For the main course, I'm going to be packing in some leftover yakisoba. Here's me cutting and cooking up the ingredients last night. Yakisoba is a pretty popular street food made in Japan. It's a really simple noodle stir fry that mainly consists of cabbage and carrots and also a protein. For mine, I have pork. To make my life easy, I buy the instant packet, which comes with the noodles and the seasoning already. All I have to do is stir fry it all up and it's pretty much good to go. Once it's ready, I packed it away into the lunchbox. Don't worry, I'll make sure those flyaway noodles make it into the box. Now that it's done, I packed it away and included a note for my husband.